Town Board of Liberty Grove to order for the first meeting of the month. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming. If you have cell phones, if you wouldn't mind turning them off or on vibrate so as not to interrupt the meeting. And a reminder to the supervisors to please speak into the microphone. All supervisors are present with the exception of Lou Cavosos, who is excused this evening, in addition to the clerk, treasurer, and the administrator. Would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Are there any changes to the agenda? I'm going to strike number 8, the committee appointments. All right, if nothing else, then I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the exception of the strike, or including striking number 8.
I'll second that.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. Okay, we have the minutes of the special board meeting of the 17th of June. Are
Make
there,
a motion, we adopt the minutes as written.
is there a second, please?
Second.
Second by Farber, motion to approve by Mulliken. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. And then the regular board meeting of the same date. Are there any additions or corrections?
I move they be accepted as written.
Is there a second, please?
I'll second it.
Motion by Farber, seconded by Mulliken. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. Okay, we have a new item on the agenda. On the first meeting of the month, I've asked the administrator to provide us with a report on activities in the administrator's office and so forth, and other pertinent information for town residents. So, Bud?
Okay, we're in a little transition period here now from me being the clerk. It's a little change now from not having to get everything ready for the meeting and taking minutes. So it's a little adjustment to doing a little bit less in that area and a little bit more in some other areas. For a couple of items that went on since the last meeting was on June 12th, there was a seminar held by Boris Frank on grant writing called the Writing Effective Grant Proposals. Some of you may recall that Mr. Frank was instrumental in securing funding and granting for the library at Sister Bay several years ago. And he's worked in other areas as well, pretty much all over the state. And right now he's working with the Crane Foundation in Baraboo. He's changed direction a little bit. He's pretty much taken up by that. He's really interested in it. And I did ask him if he had his own crane costume, but he said not yet. I don't know if he will because he's not very tall. It was very interesting. One of the main things that came out of the seminar, other than some hints and suggestions for writing grants that'll work, are basically, it's pretty much an inexact science. You've got different foundations and private companies that give out grants, and a lot of his talk program applied to that. The ones that we have been doing here with coastal management and stewardship are basically fill out the form type grants, but what you want to really do is make a good narrative in there to catch the eye of whoever's reading it, so they set it aside and really think about it and give you a little better chance. Then on the 30th, yesterday I took an online sales pitch, if you will, from a company called eCivis, and it's their title is an online grant information and grants management company. I'm going to send around to the board a sample of what they do, and the board can decide, and if we want to go that route, it does cost a little bit to join, and then, excuse me, it costs, if you want them to review your grant application, there's a fee for that. Yes, on the 24th, there was a pre-construction meeting on the project in Sister Bay with the company, with Vinton Construction, and they will be actually beginning blasting on Monday already, the way it sounds, or if not, there shortly thereafter. So as I understand it, the detour is going to be basically the same as last year, one way through Sister Bay, and then they'll go around to Woodcrest, up to Old Stage, and out to 57. The only other town road that will be impacted a little bit is North Bay Drive, which will be used for hauling dredging or digging materials out to Pat's pit out just off North Bay Drive. So that's some of the things that have been going on other than normal activities. We do have, our crushing is done. We've got 11,000, just over 11,000 yards of gravel now that probably will last us for 2 years. We got some recycled crushed and some breaker run crushed now that we are all set. So we're waiting for that, for the county shouldering machine so they can come and get our shouldering done. And when that's done, we can get our truck out of here that we have traded or sold to the person in Upper Michigan who is anxiously awaiting it, and we've been putting them off. Hopefully that'll be done in a week or so.
Okay, thank you.
Can we back up to the grant? What was the name of that grant company again?
Pardon me?
The grant writing company or the grant helping company?
eCivis, E-C-I-V-I-S.
And basically, they review your grant applications. Is that kind of in summary what I'm hearing?
They have they've collected and and on their website, they've got, when you sign up for it, you can sign up for, put in your search items that you're looking for a grant, and then you come up with different companies, foundations, nonprofits, and then you basically write the grant to those people.
So in other words, if you want a grant for painting the chairs or something, you search for chair painters and,
Yeah, if you want a grant for the harbor in Ellison Bay, you just type in harbor, and then it'll pop up several grant sources that give money. Their success rate on grant applicants is 80%, between 80 and 90%.
what kind of a deal do we have going now for the ones we've done? We've got better than that, don't we?
The grants we've written, we've been successful on all of them except the one we did for street signs a few years ago when they changed the requirements for street signs. We applied for a grant for that. It was between 25 and 30,000, I believe, to replace all the town signs. We were turned down on that one. So we're just replacing them as we go.
Sure.
Okay, any other questions? All right, thank you. All right, going on then, approve the payment of the bills. Are there any questions on the bills?
I had one,
Go ahead.
the crushing operation, what do we budget for that?
Our original budget was around 80,000. At the budget process, we cut that down to 70. And our total crushing costs this year came to 51,438.14. So we do have money left over from
20,000 left over.
crushing, just under 19,000.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Make a motion, we pay the bills?
Second? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Next is public input, and before we get to that, just a couple of items. We have a digital newsletter that we've put out once, and we're going to be putting it out now on the 10th of each month. And there's a sign-up slip in the office if anybody's interested in receiving that. Also, on the 14th of July, the Finance and Board will do a mid-year report on the budget, and also we will engage in a listening session for the public, that they can come up and make comments and so forth. And we did this a number of years ago, and it's proved to be pretty successful, so. Okay, under public input, it's an opportunity to address the board on any given subject and also on agendized items. So those wishing to speak on an agendized item, we need to get your name down, and then we can call on you. So, anybody? Okay, then we'll go, any general comments anybody wishes to make? All right, we'll go on to number 9, consider Plan Commission recommendation of conditional use permits.
John, can I ask
Yep,
you a quick,
go
can I
ahead.
just make a comment? Is,
Sure.
I went down to Old Ellison Bay days, and I
Mhm.
went down to the, what, Taste of Door County, whatever it's called down there,
Uncork Summer.
Uncorked, and I thought that was really wonderful, and I just want to know what you guys thought about it.
I heard good, very good reports. I can't, I'm working every day, so I can't get down there.
Did you get to it, Nancy, or,
I did.
yeah, did you have a good, did you find it okay?
Yeah, I only went down to Whitman House for a couple of hours and grabbed some of the food.
Yeah, good, I thought it was a wonderful,
Good.
I didn't go to it. I checked out the traffic. Traffic was relatively well contained because they taped off half of the Mink River Road. But the area by the cemetery was not taped, so they parked on the cemetery grass. The area on Mike Mead's lawn was not taped, so they parked on his lawn. They tried to park on the trailer parking area next to the Wickman house, but that was all taped off. So they parked in front of the tape, so, it's.
just normal.
Yeah, very normal.
Yeah.
So, but I heard a few people that went there, they enjoyed it. Area businesses are not happy with it. They're losing money, and of course, they're very upset about that, so.
Okay, any other comments? All right, Nancy?
Okay, at our last plan commission meeting, let me scoot over here, we heard 2 conditional use requests. The first was for a building with a footprint in excess of 5,000 square feet by Todd and Julie Schwartz. And all of the commissioners felt that it was a very complete and well-thought-out application. And the only reservation at all that the commission had was some sort of a runoff plan for a place on the water. Oftentimes when applicants are building a large footprint building, they will address this with, by saying, oh, we're going to put in rain gardens, or we have native plantings going in. And so we, as a commission, passed or recommended support for the request with the condition that the owner consults with Door County Soil and Water regarding possible runoff plans. So I would make a motion to that effect to, let's see here, to recommend support for the Schwartz request to construct a home with a footprint in excess of 5,000 square feet at 998 Cottage Road with the condition that Door County Soil and Water is consulted to see if any kind of a runoff plan might be necessary.
Okay. I'll second. Discussion, please?
I find it kind of ironic that you're asking me to approve something or disapprove something you don't even have, shown here, no site plan, no building plans, no nothing.
We have a site plan and
Where are
building
they?
plans.
Well, the plan commission went over.
Yeah, well, but you're asking me to make an approval of it.
We can get you the plans.
Well, I looked at my packet, they weren't in the packet.
No. You want normal procedure, we can easily send that information out every time. That wouldn't be a problem.
I think it'd be in our best interest, if you ask somebody to support something, they should know what they're supporting.
Okay. I will note that the Plan Commission did pass it 7-0, so. And there are enough eyes on there that they're pretty thorough on it, but no, we can certainly get the information to the board members, that's not a problem. Any other discussion?
Are they on the website?
They're on the website.
Yeah. They're
Under
always,
what packet?
The Plan Commission.
No, under the
packet
Plan Commission.
Is on the website, and that has all of the documentation for these two CUPs. I can certainly send them to the board. These are 17, 18-page
Right.
CUPs.
Mhm.
And I can send them to you, you know, but electronically, and
Yeah.
but they are there.
yes,
You
they are.
Just, yeah. Maybe just speaking to where.
Okay, any other questions? All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion
As
carries
restated.
3-1. Okay, going on to number 2.
Okay, the second conditional use that we heard was for a temporary concrete plant to be established in an existing quarry at 10695 Highway ZZ. And here again, the application was extremely complete and addressed virtually all of the concerns. We had one resident, actually two, in the audience that had a lot of very specific questions about the plant. Was it going to be a building? How long was the plant going to operate? What would be the hours of operation? What about noise and dust abatement? And those were addressed point by point in the application. And by the end of the discussion period, one of the residents had asked to speak, and he's virtually had no questions anymore. He was very comfortable with the fact that it was a temporary operation, not a building, and would be, I believe, started in September of 2015 and end in July of 2016. And actually, that end date is a month longer than they anticipate, just in case weather follows them up again. Again, the Plan Commission recommends the board supports this conditional use.
You want to make that to a motion, please?
I will. I would move that the board send a letter of support, or have our administrator send a letter of support for Hockers Excavating, establishing a temporary concrete plant in an existing quarry at 10695 Highway ZZ per the specifications in the application.
I'll second. Discussion, please. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
May I make a comment on this?
Go ahead.
If I may, please? The county went through the same thing, and what was discovered was a concrete road is probably a better investment than an asphalt road. And I believe Pat, you can, fill me in. You needed 200 yards an hour, right? Is that why you
Yeah.
needed? Yeah.
Basically,
And,
ECI was doing 60 yards an hour.
yeah, and so the deal is, like Washington Island, when they got the asphalt plant over there, they went ahead and did a bunch of roads, even though it was beyond their current budget. And if the concrete plant is up here and we have roads, like, I'm thinking specifically like Old Stage Road that's heavy traffic, the town should look into repaving with the concrete on that road. Because the long-term payback on it is much better than an asphalt road.
Okay. All right, thank you. Going on, consider launch pass.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get a good night's sleep.
there are none.
None? Approval of operator licenses.
You have those in front of you.
Right.
Make a motion to approve the list of operators.
I'll second that.
Second, discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Correspondence.
You want to
Don't take his favorite thing away.
I have something to
His
do.
favorite thing is to do.
And future meeting notices. Got a email from the Town Association the other day. It's called an emergency legislator contact because of the prevailing wage bill that is pending before the legislature. And part of the bill, one of the provisions, two of the sections deal with private contracts, and it essentially says if this bill passes and there is a responsible bid other than a county bid, let's say for highway work, the county bid cannot be considered. So if it's determined that a responsible bid comes in, even though it's higher than the county bid, the municipality could not take the county bid. So I sent a letter in email into 4 legislators with the desire that that be stricken from that bill because of the potential damage it could do to communities with tax dollars being spent.
Is that attached to some other bill? So it's gonna be kind of snuck through?
The
or-
prevailing wage law bill,
Yeah.
yeah. And the desire would be to have it debated as a separate bill because, and not just tacked on to another one. Notice of the RPC meeting on July 16th for the Schwartz 5,000 square foot as supported here tonight, and the Camp Zion conditional use permit for their dining facility. 2014 annual report from the Bay Lake Plan Commission, and the information from the County Planning Department regarding the mapping change up at Town Line and Highway 42. We did get a number of no fee permit application for agricultural commercial vehicles that are going to be operating on the town roads from the Rio Creek feed mill. We didn't know why we got these actually, because there's nothing that the town needs to do on them. They're all filled out and applied. And when we contacted the Rio Creek feed mill, they didn't know why we got them either. But we got them. So, and that's it.
That's it? Okay. Future meetings.
Friday the 3rd, the hall will be closed to observe the 4th. Variance training here at the town hall on Monday at 6:30 for board and/or plan commission members. The bids are due on the Ellison Bay insurance project on Tuesday the 7th, and will be opened up at a Parks Committee meeting on the 14th at 8 in the morning. Plan Commission meeting on the 8th. Highway Committee on the 13th at 8 a.m. Parks, the 14th at 8 a.m. A listening session at 7 p.m. along with the report on financing and budgeting. Town Board on the 15th, at which time action will be taken on the bids that are opened up on the 14th. The RPC, as mentioned, on the 16th for Schwartz permit application and Camp Zion. And I don't have the 22nd on the calendar for the Plan Commission, but that would be the normal time for meeting. And that'll be it for the month.
Okay. Before I make a motion to adjourn, I do not have a rule tonight, just a quote. If you are sure you understand everything that is going on, you are hopelessly confused. Walter Mondale. I move we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?